All right, we're officially recording. Welcome everybody to this Wednesday afternoon team call. I'm super excited. Have this, you guys can see the image, right? I got the slides are up. You can see Gabby here. Sean was talking about Gabby. She's got some awesome news. I'm not going to tell you what it is, so you'll have to watch her Instagram stories and see what's going on in her life. But we're going to skip right past the announcements today. You guys are on the team page. You know about Super Weekends. You should be listening to National Wake Up Call every single Monday morning. So you should be knowing about when Super Weekends come up, about the importance of getting to Summit and learning tips every single week there. So today I wanted to talk specifically with you guys about goals and the power of visualization. This is something I feel like I could do an entire day's workshop on with you guys because my entire business is built around this concept of making sure that you have goals, visualize what you want to accomplish, and then get in that space every single day. So as I was trying to think, what do we need right now as a team in order to take each of our businesses individually and together as a team to the next level, getting back to this root foundation. So I'm going to first start out by sharing and reminding you guys what our mission and purpose is. As Dynasty Strong coaches, is we are empowering others to continually develop into their fullest potential. We're also obviously ending the trend of obesity and helping other people live a healthier and more fulfilling life. And I want to share something with you guys, like as you go forward and you hear things today, you're going to see some people that have bigger goals and dreams than you, and that's totally okay because we're each unique and individual, and that success for each of us is different. You know, success is an individual thing, like what that means to each person. It's not anything, has nothing to do with the person to your side or the people that you see on this team call. Success is an individual thing. So as we talk about some of these things, and maybe I'll help you guys set some of your individual goals and the goals and visions for your life, that you remember that success is not achieving a certain rank, or it's not your income. It's knowing what your purpose is as a coach, as a human, and growing yourself every single day and helping plant seeds of growth in other people. So with that being said, I'm going to start off with a quick little story. Because the topic today is goals and visualizations, I'm going to tell you guys quite a few stories about how this has been true in my life and why I believe so much in that. In my early 20s, I was playing music, and I lived in an apartment with one of my friends. And I bounced around between apartments. I had dated a lot of girls, but none of them ever clicked as like, and even the thought of being married was never on my mind. It was like play music and date. And so I remember specifically one day, my friend and I wanted to create some major changes in our lives that involved getting away from living in an apartment where there was drugs and things that we were trying to get away from. So we moved like 30, 40 minutes away into a new apartment together. And his name was Boris, by the way. It was like our first maybe 1 or 2 days there. We walked over to the corner, like the closest place we could eat to those apartments was this little burger shop on the corner. And I remember specifically that day sitting there as we were waiting for our burgers to come out. And I said, Boris, I'm going to find the woman that I'm going to marry here. Like, I'm going to find her. Like, she's going to come. Like, I don't know how I'm going to meet her, but in this new space where we're at now, moving away from that into this new place, I'm going to find the woman of my dreams I'm supposed to marry. It wasn't but a few months later that I met this girl that you guys can see on this picture here at Warped Tour in 2005. By random chance, she and her two of her friends, they promoted a venue, and me and my friend, we played in a band together. And she came up to us and said, hey, can we take your picture so we can promote our venue? And that's how we met. So we have a picture of the day that we met. I should have put that up there too as a part of the story. But what I want to share with you guys about that is there became inside of me a goal and a desire of something I wanted to come into my life. Because before I hadn't really had that desire or that decision. When I made that decision there in that corner shop with my friend, miraculously, a few months later, Gabby came into my life, and she was exactly the person that was designed to help me become the person that I am meant to be. So I wanted to start that call with that, to think about maybe times in your life when there's been something that you desired or had a burning desire, let's say, to achieve or accomplish or have come into your life, and it's happened. And I want you to think about that. I know there's times in your life when that's happened, whether it's achieving a degree, moving up through a career, having a child that you thought you wouldn't have, all of these different things. It's happened in your life before. So I'm not going to tell my entire story as we move into this. Most of you guys are a part of our team, so you really know that. But my life was completely changed by Team Beachbody. I committed to P90X. In 90 days, I lost 38 pounds. I had abs for the first time. And I felt this new growing confidence coming into my life where I was excited about life again. I had more energy. And I just began to tell people, like, dude, you got to do every human I came in contact. I'm like, you got to try P90X. You got to do Insanity. You're probably going to throw up, but you're going to feel better after. And you're going to just love it. And I was like bleeding, like oozing out that you should do P90X and Insanity. And this is before I ever became a coach. I said no to the coach opportunity to over 30 different coaches, including my coach in your guys' upline, Lindsay Matway. I told her no every month for about 8 months. And the reality of the matter was I thought I was too busy working 12-hour days. I thought I was too busy because my wife worked at nights. I thought, they're doing this thing online. I can't do that. I don't even have, when I get home from my job after 12 hours, I'm home alone with 2 little kids. We don't have internet in our house. We don't have cable. Like, how am I going to build an online business with those things? So I had all of these excuses running through my mind, or objections. And I just continued to watch Lindsay and these other coaches that had invited me before. What I was sold on with Lindsay, and what I want you guys to understand, if you don't get anything from this call, this might want to be one of the most important things. You guys see Lindsay as like a 4-time superstar diamond coach, top 10 coach, help develop and mentor me and Melanie Mitro and all these other incredible leaders on the team. But the day that she had that first phone call with me, when I said, because the other 30 coaches, I just blew them off because they sent me to their website. They sent me copy and pasted scripts. Lindsay got on the phone with me and shared her story with me. So that was the first thing. The second thing is she told me that they were going to build a dynasty. They were going to build a family and a legacy of coaches that had huge dreams, goals, and visions. And she told me that she was committed to helping me and others achieve their goals so that she could she could slowly pay off the $400,000 worth of debt that she incurred with the birth of their daughter, London, who was born prematurely. So what she did in that moment is she cast a vision of what she was going to do for her life. Like what this business was going to do for her life. She was walking away from bartending and she was going to slowly pay off this debt. So that casted a vision. It planted a vision and it made me start thinking about what I wanted out of my life. I worked 12-hour days because our mortgage, which was a couple $100,000, was the only reason. I didn't work 12-hour days because I loved being in the factory. I didn't work every Saturday because I loved working every Saturday. I worked it because I had a couple $100,000 worth of debt with our mortgage. And that was the thing that kept us really living paycheck to paycheck. So she cast a vision. I want you guys to think about that. Does anybody know how many months into her coaching business she was when we had that phone call and she cast that vision? And I know you're all muted, but I'll tell you, and this is the one thing I want you guys to remember. 3 months. 3 months into her coaching business when she told me she was going to do that. So leading into that, 8 months later, on April 11th, 2011, I joined as a coach. It was 18 days after the birth of my daughter, Ellie. And I remember getting to work that morning after gathering up all my mail from the mailbox and going through and seeing the doctor bill, the hospital bill, the Blue Cross bill, the ear doctor bill. And I remember feeling this overwhelming weight on my shoulders, like the world was spinning around me and I had no control. Because we're already paycheck to paycheck. Gabby's home with our brand new baby, missed work without maternity leave. And now I have these accumulative bills of like $3,000. And I'm like, what do I do? Like, what am I supposed to do? Do I have to go back to school? Do I have to get a second job? Do I have to have Gabby work a higher paying job during the day and we put these 3 kids in daycare versus having us raise them? And then sitting in that cubicle, I remembered the vision that Lindsay planted in my mind 8 months earlier as a 3-month-old baby coach. And I decided to become a coach that day. And I decided to become a coach that day because that day, my fear of not knowing how to provide for my family became greater than my fear that I would fail as a coach, became greater than my excuses that I didn't have internet, that I didn't have enough time. And I want to show you guys something, because we're going to talk about mindset, belief, setting goals, and having a clear vision. You've probably read this already, but this is the day that I signed up, what I put on Facebook. My paperwork has been, I applied by fax, by the way. I didn't just use a share cart back in the day because I'm a grandpa coach. My paperwork has been sent in to be a coach. It should be a couple of days before I can get my website up to have my friends join my team. I'm excited. I will create one of the best, unified, and successful teams. I want that to sink in. That is a brand new coach that put that out into the universe of this is what we're going to create. I didn't know exactly what it looked like, but the vision was beginning to grow in my life of what I wanted to accomplish. So what I want to ask you guys right now, as you're going through your business and working on your business, are you just going through the motions and filling out your activity tracker, hoping that something happens, hoping that one person joins your team or that you can sell a challenge pack? Because if that's the case, it's going to get mundane. There's going to be no purpose, no reason behind it, and it's going to get old and frustrating, and you're going to let all the doubts and insecurities take over. You're going to have to get super clear on what it is that your goal and the vision of your life are, and that's what I want to help you guys be able to discover today. That's when I got started, and so I had this goal. I remember talking to Lindsay on our Getting Started Right call. I said, Lindsay, I need to make $10,000 as a Beachbody coach. So I want you guys to take note of that. I set a very clear goal. I want to make $10,000. And she asked me, what does $10,000 mean to you? And so 10,000, what that meant to me as I'm setting this goal is the vision of what that my life would look like with an extra $10,000 was that my wife wouldn't have to leave to work at 3 o'clock and drop the kids off at the neighbor's house. I could clearly see that she could come home from work. That extra $10,000 would cover her, what she was making at the hotel. And I could come home from work at 5 o'clock. This was my dream and my vision. I could come home from work at 5 o'clock and like dinner would be ready or almost ready, or I could help her finish getting it ready. We could sit down together as a family of 5, eat dinner together, and then go kick soccer balls, walk around the block, ride bikes, and spend time together as a family. Because that was so important to me, because for the first 5 years of our marriage and 3 kids, that never happened because we worked separate shifts, me during the day, her at night. So I set a clear goal of making $10,000. The why and the reason behind that, the vision of what my life would look like, is exactly what I just expressed to you, what that night, what our evenings would look like, versus me picking up the kids, which, by the way, when I started as a coach, were 4, 2, and 6 weeks old, and raising them by myself, putting them to bed by myself after a 12-hour day in a miserable factory full of complaining people. Like that's exhausting. And so I just envisioned what it would be like to be able to eat. I didn't even want to leave my job then. That wasn't even on my vision yet. So your vision doesn't have to be so huge right now. Just what's going to be something that's going to completely change your life. And that was it for me. And I went after that goal. And then it was, I'm going to use this picture right here. I had another picture of a school bus I wanted to use, but I wanted to share this one with you guys. About 8 months into my business, I'm working super hard on the goal of making $10,000 at the end of the year. I'm super clear on that's the end goal I want to accomplish, making all of the sacrifices that I need to make and what it's going to feel like, the vision of what that's going to feel like. I'm going to repeat things over and over again. Set goals. This is the reason for the goal, and envisioning it. Well, it got hard because once again, 12-hour days, coming home with 3 little girls, 4 and under, and doing that 6 days a week, working Saturdays, having my wife at work. When she gets home from work at 11:30, I'm just wrapping up my Beachbody business. I put the kids to bed at 8. I work from 8:30 to 11:30. I'm going to bed just as she's coming in the door. And then doing that over and over, 8 months straight, and building this and working on my business 3 to 4 hours every single night, working my business during my lunch break, because it was so important for me to make that happen. Then I got tired. Even though I had a clear vision and a goal, I was getting tired and I was getting exhausted. I was getting burnout, I guess would be the word. And then I had a moment. And it was about 8 months into my business. I had the man cold where I stayed home from work for like 3 days. I didn't leave the bed. I was nearly dying. You guys, I see some laughing on here. Your husbands have been there before, so you know what it's like. And, it's stressful. I'm not getting paid to be home. And I remember Gabby telling me like, hey, Scotty, you should get up, take a shower, get dressed. And, Keena's about to come home. She rode the afternoon school bus for kindergarten. She's like, Keena's about to be home. Would you like to go pick her up? I bet you'll start to feel better if you get up and start moving around. So I do it. I walk down this cul-de-sac. We still live in the same house. And I'm halfway down the cul-de-sac when her bus pulls up. And I remember it like it was yesterday. And she was the only one that got off of that bus stop. But the bus stopped, and I remember the sound of the door squeaking open and the stop sign flinging out. And then I see these two little hands of this little 5-year-old girl grab the little handrails to take her first step down those 3 steps off that bus. And she looked up at me. And I just saw this smile. You can see the smile right here, but this was when she was 5 years old. This smile came across her face that I hadn't recognized or even noticed before. And it stopped me, and tears running down my cheeks, and I couldn't even take another step forward. And I really started to think, like, how many of these moments have I missed? And how many more of these moments will I continue to miss if I don't push forward and push through this pain? And if you guys were on the call before this, Eric Thomas was talking about, you're already in pain. It's like, get something from it. And so I made a decision in that moment that I was going to push through the pain. I was going to grow through the pain. And not only, this is the moment where my vision got bigger. Not only was I going to bring my wife home from work, I was going to come home with her. And I was never going to be denied ever again the opportunity to pick my kids up from the school bus if I wanted to, or to go to their, watch them do their presentation on being a blacksmith, like my 5th grader's doing right now, and not have to ask a boss to do those things. So I made that decision that I was going to become a full-time coach. And this was 8 months into my coaching journey. But I think the thing that was bigger, when the vision got even bigger than that, when it gets bigger than just you and it involves other people, it becomes so much more powerful. And I remember in that moment saying, like, having that realization as well, like it was a belief, like it already happened in my mind. I was like, I'm coming home. Like, I'm going to quit my job with Gabby. I wasn't making enough to do that, but I made that decision. I could see it happening. And I remember thinking in that moment, like, if I can do this, a college dropout, someone that was addicted to cocaine, lived in houses where people smoked meth, like, if I came from a place like that and got to this place where I am right now, like, I could teach, mentor, and inspire anybody to do it. Like, there was nobody beyond lost like I was that I couldn't help reach and inspire to change their life. And so that's when the mission and the vision became much bigger for me. I was going to come home from my job, and I was going to empower and teach and mentor other people to do that. So if you're wondering, like, how does Scotty stay so motivated 9.5 years later? We have more income than I've ever imagined with Team Beachbody, more than we could ever use. So why do I still show up? Because I made that decision and realized that this was my purpose. It's not about making more money or getting to the next rank or opening the next business center. And that's why if I drop rank or drop income and raise back up and drop, that it doesn't affect me. Because that's not what my mission and my purpose as a coach is. Like, yes, those are important metrics of a business, and I set goals for those. But my purpose and the vision of my life revolves around being present for my family and not having anybody tell me what I have to do for work, and then teaching, mentoring, and inspiring other people on how to live that life as well. So that's when that vision started for me. And this picture was actually from yesterday morning. Every single day at 8 o'clock, I take my daughter to the school bus. It's like a half mile away, and it's like 0 degrees here right now. So I drive her to the school bus, and every morning we get to talk. We get to ask her about her day, her friends, her activities, the basketball game she went to last night. And I'm so grateful that I get, and that's just one example, right? But I'm so grateful every day I get to do that. Because had I not pushed through the pain, had I not set the goals and had the vision, I wouldn't have that opportunity to do that, because I would have been at work probably still today at 5 a.m. And so I'm so grateful every morning that is the life that I get to live. It has nothing to do with a rank or income. Like, I only made $40,000 a year at my job, So like my income could drop by like 20 times and I would still be extremely happy and blessed just to be able to be home and do what I love and take her to school every single day. Does that make sense? Okay, so I want to talk about a couple examples, and then we're going to go through some specific activities that I want you guys to do, not on this call, but you're going to screenshot them, take pictures of them, and do them on your own time. Because guys, remember, The Slight Edge teaches this, the book. Like, in order to cut the apple tree down, you don't just keep hacking at the apple tree over and over and over with a dull axe. You got to stop, sharpen the axe, and then it's going to get done with much less effort. And what I believe by this call, increasing your belief, getting clear on your goals, your vision, and your purpose, is sharpening your axe. And so instead of sitting there whacking at that tree with everything that you have and burning yourself out, let's sharpen the axe so that we can move you guys to the next level. So I'm going to give you guys a couple examples. I've given you two already. At the end of year number 1, our 1099 from Beachbody was $10,800. What was that clear goal? 10,000. Can I tell you exactly how that happened? How many customers, how many coaches? No, I can't tell you. That happened because I just had a clear goal and vision, and I hit the goals that Beachbody puts out and my coach helped me set, which was Success Club 10 every single month. And I remember her telling me, you should strive to advance your business and your rank every 90 days. So I went to Diamond in 93 days. I worked on getting to 1-star Diamond the next 90 days. Didn't happen. I went to 1-star Diamond with our team at 12 months, which is totally okay, but we were pushing and striving for those goals. So that was the first one, setting that clear goal of $10,000. There was also another goal lined with that I didn't mention. And there's a picture of it I have later on here. But I had a clear goal to go on the Success Club trip. And the reason I wanted to go on that Success Club trip was because I didn't get to provide my wife with a very awesome honeymoon. So I figured if I'm going to work hard at this business anyway, I might as well do what it takes to earn that free trip and then reward her and myself with that trip as well. So I could, I'll show you, I'll skip forward on the slide and move this X. This was my cubicle at work with my screensaver. That is Atlantis in the Bahamas, where the Success Club trip was that I was working to earn in my first year. So and this goes into what we're going to talk about in goals and visualization, 12 hours a day. And every day when I arrived to work and every day when I shut my computer down at break, at lunch, and to go home, what was right in front of my eyes? The trip that I was going to earn through earning the Success Club trip. So that was one of the examples as well. So we set the goal to hit Success Club 10, earn $10,000. We hit Success Club 10 every single month, and we were able to go on that trip. The next thing that happened for me, and I'll share just two or three more small examples. There's an image here. I'm not going to talk about this one right now. The first one I'm going to talk about is, and what I want you guys to think about is, as you build your business and you grow into the leader that you are meant to be and you start to earn income, be smart with that income. Don't live outside your means. Live in the means that you have right now and use that to create a future for yourself and for your family. So for us, the first step to doing that was going back to one of the first things that we talked about. That mortgage that I had was the reason I worked 12-hour days. It created some sort of pain in my life. Like I had like pain associated with our mortgage. So the first goal when I left my job wasn't like, okay, we're making 6 figures now at our 14-month, which is like double what I made at my full-time job. Let's go buy all the toys. No, all of that extra income went every single month into paying off the mortgage on our house. And guys, I could tell you everything about this, but I'm going to tell you the one thing that I did, like the secret of how that happened. First, Beachbody announced, hey, we got this new thing called the Financial Freedom Award. And this is what we achieved for that, for paying off our mortgage. They said, hey, if you pay off your mortgage, at Summit, we're going to let you burn that mortgage, all the mortgage papers on stage. Okay, so that was the goal. I'm going to pay off my mortgage and I'm going to burn that on stage. Why was that important to me? Because that's the reason I worked 12-hour days all of those years and missed the time with my family. And the second reason that was important to me is I envisioned what it would feel like to stand in front of 10,000 people in a stadium and show them what was possible on becoming debt free, and how that would inspire other people to not just build a business, but to be financially responsible with the income that they're building with their business. So see how there was a clear goal, pay off the mortgage, and then what it meant to me. Releasing that pain that I had from having the mortgage, being debt free, but then also inspiring other people to be smart with their money. So I set that goal, and then I started visualizing it. Guys, I have a little jacuzzi hot tub in the backyard. You're gonna feel like a weirdo when you start doing this if you haven't done it yet. All of this goal setting and visualization stuff. Every morning, I sat out in that hot tub and looked at the back of my house. It's in the back of my backyard. And I talked to myself at 6 o'clock in the morning in my jacuzzi in the dark. I would be like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy that we paid this house off. Like, I don't owe a thing on this house. This is so incredible. Like, I can't believe how awesome this feels that we have no debt. Like, all the income that we earn is for enjoying and spending time with our family and giving them experiences. Nothing goes towards debt anymore. Like, we're debt free. So every day I sat in my hot tub and I sat there as if it was the day that I paid that last payment on that mortgage and how that would feel. And I talked to myself about how that felt. So that's the first one. The crazy thing is when I set that goal to do that, I wanted to do it in a year. Beachbody said Summit, that's 6 months. It cut my time in half that I had to pay it. And then they announced that Summit recognition happened in May. So it cut it back like another 6 weeks. And it was impossible. If you looked at what we earned as Beachbody coaches, even if I gave everything I earned as a coach and didn't buy food and pay electric, gas, cell phone, all that stuff, it was impossible in that moment to pay my house off in time for that Summit recognition. But I envisioned it every single day, and I talked to myself like a weirdo in the backyard, sitting in my hot tub, looking at my house, and we paid it off 3 weeks before Summit recognition. I can't tell you how, but because I believed it and visualized it, and I put in the work every single day, God and the universe brought the right people into our team and helped the people on our team that weren't stepping up yet step up and go after their goals. I can't explain it. I honestly can't explain how it happened because the numbers were impossible. But that's the power of visualization. I'm going to share 2 more. This picture you see right here with this grizzly bear and this view. And then I'll share one about my father. This one, okay, before I became a coach, I was looking at ways to provide extra money for my family. And at my job at the Still Factory, I programmed a CNC laser cutting machine. So I started building a business. I built a like page. It's called High Country Art Designs or something like that. And on Craigslist and on Facebook, I put things that I would build custom signs for your cabin or your home. And I started building custom signs for people on my lunch break. I would design them at home. I would cut the metal. I would buy the scrap metal. I would cut it on my lunch break, and then I would sell them on Craigslist and Facebook through a like page. This is before coaching. And I designed myself and drew myself a sign that I wanted for my house here in Idaho Falls. And it was this grizzly bear with this tree, and I put a little bird up here and these mountains and this lake and this elk. And this was like in my mind, like my ideal place, like my ideal space that I would love to be in. This was before coaching. I built this sign in 2010. Well, I pay off our house and our team is continuing to build. And I set this goal. The next goal that I wanted to set is my best memories as a child were spending time in my aunt's little 2-bedroom cabin that had a little wood fireplace. And we would go 10 days every summer and ride motorcycles with my dad and spend 10 days with my mom and dad and my family, spend 10 days there. We would hike. We would shoot 22s out in the backyard at targets. We would hike. We would do all of that fun. So we'd swim at the lake and jump off the docks. We would fish. And so I was like, you know what? Like, if I need to set bigger goals for my life, like our house is paid off, like I would love to have a cabin that I could provide those experiences for my kids, for my nephews, for my parents, and for my future my grandkids. So I was like, I want to buy a cabin for our family. Guys, we went out cabin shopping and set this goal. And I didn't notice this, but I went to 30 different cabins over a couple weeks. And as I came through the garage door and into the living room of this cabin, this is the view that I saw right here. This is the day I took that picture when we were cabin shopping. And I didn't know it at the time. I didn't put the sign and this together. But this is the cabin that we bought 7 years ago. And we had my wife's family there, her parents. And this sign is hanging in the basement. But I still hadn't put it together. And she's like, Scotty, do you realize that sign is like the view outside? And I'm like, what? And so I looked at the sign, I looked outside, and I'm like, holy crap, this is so crazy. So I share that story because this sign was something that was in my mind of my ideal space. And if I could choose somewhere to be, it's the place I would be. And then it's no surprise then that when we set goals for having a cabin and creating these memories, that it would look like this space right here. Is that not mind-blowing? It's crazy. Like this tree over here looks like kind of like this tree. This mountain's kind of covered from this view, but there's a tall mountain peak right here. The lake, there's a private pond, and this even looks like a private pond in front of the elk, like a little extra spot. So crazy to me. But that goal was important to me for the legacy and the memories that I could create for my family. But also when I was 19 years old, I went on a mission for my church to Venezuela. And my best friend, or one of my best friends, was my grandfather, who I fished on this lake with every single year. In our little boat that took like an hour to get out to the middle. And he passed away when I was on my mission. And so like it's my spot where I can really remember and be close to him. And it all happened through this power of visualization. The last one, we bought this cabin, paid it off in 3 years with our Beachbody business. And then I needed more goals, right? I need to always challenge myself. And remember that goals is not for the acquisition of a certain material thing. Setting goals is so that you grow into the person that can have those things or lead that team. So the next thing is like our income's building. And I remember listening to Jim Rohn from Idaho. Have you guys heard of Jim Rohn? If you haven't, listened to some of his YouTube audios. Like he mentored Tony Robbins. And I'm from Idaho. And he talked about the day that he had a goal to make $1 million. And that had never been on my mind. And I'm like, okay, I'll set a goal to make $1 million. But what does $1 million do for somebody that is happy living a life that where I made $40,000, right? So I needed to tie meaning to that goal. As you guys are taking notes on this call, remember, set goals, tie a meaning and a reason and a purpose to that goal. And I was like, what would that mean? Like what would I do if I had $1 million? And I was like, those of you that don't know, my mom became my assistant 8 years ago. She does all my back office stuff, runs the reports, Success Club, PV reports, sends new customer welcome emails, does all that stuff. And I was like, I love hunting. I love being in the outdoors. I love being at this cabin, but I don't want to be there alone. I want to share it with the people that I love most. And that's my parents. So I was like, my dad has a job. He can't just go to the cabin with me on Wednesday. So when I make $1 million a year with Beachbody, I'm going to ask my dad to leave his job and I'll just match his income. And he can help me maintain the cabin, cut the grass, paint the deck, like stain the deck, fix the lawnmower, all of that stuff. And so I set that goal. And then when we hit that goal, I set a clear goal on what it would be like. I didn't want to go hunting alone, so I needed a hunting partner. So why not that be my dad? So I set that clear goal of earning $1 million with our Beachbody business. Remember, as I share this, guys, Beachbody is not guaranteed any level of success or income. There's a lot of numbers in here. Every coach's income would be a reflection of their own diligence, effort, and skill. But guys, when we hit that goal, I asked my dad to leave his job. And it's been 4 years that he has left his job. And he's here right now. He just dropped my son off at preschool so I could be on this call right now. And Gabby's talking to her mom on the phone. I can hear over there. Sharing the news that Sean knows about that you guys don't know about yet. And then, guys, at 3 o'clock, my dad, myself, and my little 4-year-old Malik are going up to the cabin for a night. and we're going to go shovel and hang out for 24 hours. And I'll, after my work's done later, Sean and I will play some games online together because he's my homeboy. But that was all started with visualizing, setting that goal, that higher goal, not to have $1 million, but because who I would have to become to hit that goal. You're not going to ever just have $1 million without becoming the person. So I want to share that with you. And now let's get into the technical stuff. I've shared a lot of stories, but I believe stories help you really think about, well, my hope of sharing the story is that as I share those things, you start to think in your life, like, I would like to do that. Or it would be like, that's something I would want to do for my parents, or I want to have something like that for my kids. I hope it starts to help you realize that there's some goals and dreams you might have put up in the attic that we need to take down from the attic and put right back on the plate and know that they're possible for you guys to achieve. So I want you guys to start thinking about some things. What specific goals do you have? And what do those goals mean to you? And what's the why or the reason behind those goals? I mentioned that a few times. Each of these examples, I hope I've clearly articulated. There was a goal, a specific clear-cut goal, and then there was a reason to that goal. And guys, I searched for like 20 minutes to try to find a piece of paper with the Idaho Steel logo where I used to work, where I wrote out specific month-by-month income goals where I wanted to be. And it clearly stated, leave my job in June 2012, go on 3 week-long family vacations, and it had specific income goals and rate goals. And I'll find it and I'll share it in the team page, but it's like January, earn this much. February, earn this much. March, earn this much. And the way that I did that is I set the goal of a 6-figure, which was $8,000 a month. And then what I did is I just I wrote down all the months, and at the last month I put $8,000 a month. Then November said like $7,500 a month. And then October said like $7,000 a month. September said $6,500 a month. You guys see how I broke that down clearly? It wasn't just like, this is what I want. I broke it down month by month, what I would need to be at to hit that goal. So I want to make sure you guys are writing out specific goals and then what those goals mean to you and why. Sorry, I'm going to open up this chat because I haven't been looking at it. Sean's seen that sheet. I'm going to find it. It's here somewhere. Okay, so I'm just going to ask some questions so you can start to really think in your mind. What experiences would you have? Like if money were not an option, if going to a job were not an option. I'm not telling you guys you got to leave your jobs. No. Like even if you want to keep your job, but you earned an extra $20,000 a year, $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year, are there things that you would do that you can't currently do right now? Or if you do want to leave your job, what are the things that you would want to do if money were not an issue? What experiences would you want to have? Where do you want to travel to? Where would you live if money were not an option? Because a lot of us, without thinking about it, are tied to a certain city that we might not like because we have a job there. And here's a funny thing, and I hope everybody doesn't just flock to where my cabin is, but I talk to people all the time on breaking down their goals, on what they need to earn, and I understand a lot of times what their mortgage is or what their rent is. I know people that their rent in their apartment in certain cities costs more than my mortgage on that cabin cost. And that's 13 acres in a lake view with mountains and private pond. And it costs less than the rent of a lot of people that I've talked to in certain cities. So I hope not everybody flocks to Idaho all at once, but it's kind of the secret gem. But like, where would you live if money were not an issue? Would you live a beachfront property in Maui? Would you live by a ski resort in Banff? Like, where would you live if you could live your ideal life? What charities would you support? Who would you help financially? What car would you drive? What would your home look like? What would you do next week? Who would you spend your time with? And how many vacations a year would you go on? So guys, for me, like I want to live a life. I can't remember who said this. Oh, it was like Beth was talking about it at her team retreat 2 weeks ago when we went and visited her team. It's like, I want to live a life where every day feels like a Saturday. Like every day feels like a Saturday. And guys, I could tell you 8 years of my life, every day has felt like a Saturday. Like, this is my job. And I'm not like, oh man, I got to do a team call at 12. Like, this is like, I can't wait until 3 o'clock comes and I can put this laptop away. No, like when I do my work, it's like, holy crap, it's almost 3 and I got to be done with all the things I want to do for my business before the kids get home. Like, how incredible would it be to have a job, a career, a passion, an income where you do something that feels like that? And like, if I'm just to kind of help plant the seed, like people ask me when I left my job, they're like, what are you going to do with all this free time? And I was like, if I'm tired, I'm going to take a nap. I don't care what time it is. Like, I'm not going to just force myself through. Like, if my back is sore from my workout and I'm in the middle of my work day, like I'll go have a hot Epsom bath and then I'll answer my DMs from the hot bath. Like, that's my ideal life. That's what it looks like. If I want to take my daughter to school, I'm going to drive her to school. If I need to help take her to the orthodontist appointment, I'm going to take her to the orthodontist appointment. If I want to drive up to the cabin and do my work from the cabin, I'm going to do that. If I want to drive my pickup over to the park because it's sunny and we're in the middle of the winter, I'm going to go work from the front seat of my truck while the sun comes through the window. Like, I want to work and be in a place where I feel happy. And it's not trapped right here. 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. So guys, we're going to go into something. I'm going to show you guys and then have you guys do a little activity. I hope you guys maybe screenshot this, take a picture so that you can ask yourself some of these questions and answer them. I don't want you to leave this call and be like, oh, that was inspiring, I'm pumped up, and go do some invites and then that's it. Like, I need you to stop, sharpen the axe, get clear about what you want and what it means to you. So this, guys, this is not my ideal day. Like, I was moving up through the company. I was getting my 40 to 80 cent raise every single year. And like, being recognized as a hard worker there, yes, but I was trapped there 12 hours a day and every single Saturday. I wanted to go to my first coach summit in July of 2011. Just 4 months into my business, I asked my boss if I could go, and he told me no, because I'm the only one that could run the machine on Saturday. And at that, guys, you have a moment in that thing to play a victim and be like, oh, poor me. Or you can say, I'm going to freaking change this. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm going to build this thing so that nobody can ever deny me from something I want to do ever again. And so you have to get resolute. You have to make the decision. There's a difference between saying, I'm going to give this a shot. I'll give this a year or two. I'm going to try it out. Hopefully I can build this thing. There's a difference between saying that and saying, I'm going to become and do whatever it takes to build this business and the life that I want. I'm going to die on the side of the mountain, or I'm going to climb that mountain, or you'll find me dead on the side of it. Like, that type of mentality versus I'm just going to give this a shot. So guys, what does your ideal day look like? Guys, aside from this hunting picture at the bottom, all of these pictures are from the last 4 weeks at the most. If I look at this snowboarding picture right here, most of them are in the last 2 weeks. Every single picture here, aside from this snowboarding one, the snowboarding one's about 4 weeks ago. Every other one is about 2 weeks. Every single picture here was taken during the time frame that I would have been at my job before in 2011, taking my daughter to school. This one, Gabby would have been at work because she worked the Sunday shift. This one was on my daughter's birthday, taking her lunch to her school and sitting there with her classmates. This one, just feeling and looking fit in my kitchen after workout at 9 o'clock a.m. This one, Malik, at my workout with me at 8 o'clock. I would have been at work. This one, my friend inviting me to the gym. He's a sheriff, so he's off 3 days a week. Going to the gym with him when he gets off shift. That was in the middle of the day. This, taking my son, just like I'm going to do today, to the cabin. Snowboarding with Kira and Tate and CJ and Michael and Jennifer Greenberg. This picture was taken on a Friday. Hunting with my dad was on a weekday. This was me washing dishes with my son at 3 o'clock when he got home from school, doing his after school chore. I would have been at work. This was sitting at the cabin the same day with my son on what would have been a Thursday morning. So guys, what does your ideal day look like? Guys, this is not my ideal day. So I want you guys to think about, what does your ideal day look like? Who do you spend your time with? How do you look? How do you feel? What time do you wake up? What do you do after your workout? Who do you spend your time with? Like, what do you do with your coaching job? Like, are you like everything? Like, what are you doing? Are you volunteering at your kid's school and then coming back and working for an hour and then picking up your kid from preschool and then reading with them and like, what is it that you do? Like, what would your ideal day look like? Because every one of us has a different ideal day. So for you, I want you guys to ask yourself, what does that look like? And the activity that I want you guys to have, there's like 3 main activities I want you to have. Write down some clear goals and what they mean. The second activity is write out in full detail what your ideal day looks like. So I'll show you guys a little bit of my ideal day. Like, these are all images from that, but I sleep at least a 7-hour night every single night. I'm not the wake up at 5 o'clock every morning guy. Like, my wife, she loves to watch Netflix shows and funny people on YouTube and stuff. So I stay up and watch with her. Sometimes I stay up with her till 11. Sometimes I stay up with her till 12:30 watching those. I spend that time with her. If I go to bed at 12:30, my alarm ain't going off till 7:30. If I go to bed at 10:30, I'll set my alarm for 5:30. Does that make sense? Because I get to create that schedule. So whatever time it is I wake up according to what we did the night previous or how late we stay up, I get up. This is what it looks like every day. I wake each of my children. They got to be up between 7 and 7:30. I wake them all up. We've taught them to get ready. They make their own lunches. They make their own breakfast. They get dressed by themselves. So I wake them up. They start that. I come in my office. I pray. I read my scriptures, and I read my personal development book during that 35 minutes. And I visualize. I read out my goals, and I visualize them as if they've already happened in that 35-minute period. So I'm showing you what my ideal day looks like. So this is so you can help identify your ideal day. I come out, we say prayers, and I send them off to school. Then I drive my daughter, who's in the middle school, to her bus stop. And then I come back, take my pre-workout, read for 15 more minutes, and then I do my workout. When the workout's done, I make a video teaching whatever I learned in my personal development. After that, I sit in the sauna downstairs for 20 minutes, and I do meditation. When that's done, I take a shower, obviously, because I'm sweaty. And then I come into my office. It's about 10 o'clock a.m. And I work from 10 o'clock a.m. till 3, doing only the things that I love to do about this business after I do the most vital things, which are start 10 new conversations, do my follow-ups, check into my groups, and then I do whatever I want that inspires me and brings me joy in this business, which is coach opportunity calls, one-on-one, video chats with my leaders, creating content, and supporting my people. And then 3 o'clock comes, and guys, in the middle of that, like I said, if I want to have a Epsom bath, I'll hop in it. If there's something I want to go, like I want to go get a new gun case today when this call's over, like I'm going to go buy the new gun case. Say it's my ideal day, right? And then every day I shut down at 2:45 so I can be in the living room when the kids walk through the door. When the kids walk through the door, I sit down and do homework with them. We have them do their chores. And then when their chores are done, they all want to go to their friends' houses. When that happens, you know what I do? I take a 1-hour nap every day. Sometimes Gabby and I take a nap together. And that's like my ideal day because I'm a little tired. I want to take a nap. And then when that's done, obviously the rest of the night is with the family and the kids. And I spend my time with Gabby. That's my ideal day. Okay. So I want you guys to look at, what does my ideal day look like? If money were not an issue and I didn't have to go to my job, but I would still get paid, what would that day look like? Like your activity is to sharpen the axe after this call and get clear on that. The next one's going to be a little bit difficult and challenging, and it's going to really make you think beyond the financial and the rank and all of those goals you're going to set. Because yes, you're going to set those goals. Like my goals were $10,000. My goals were hitting Success Club 10. My goals were paying off the house. My goals were buying the cabin. And then one of our goals right now is to buy and own in full $5 million, $500,000 vacation rental homes like this cabin. This doesn't count because this is ours, but 5 other $500,000 homes that we have managed by a company, so that when my 5 kids graduate from high school and if they're on a good, healthy life track, that I can teach them starting now how to manage those homes, how to do profit loss statements on the property and all of that stuff, so that when they go to school, they choose a career that they love and they know that they can make an income from that house. So they don't go be something that they think they have to be because it's going to make money. If they want to teach dance and maybe it's only going to make $20,000, they can teach dance and love what they do and earn 30, 40, 50,000 from the vacation rental property. So see, there's a goal. Once again, I'm going to reiterate this, a goal of owning 5 $500,000 homes in the next 5 years that are paid for. The reason for that is to make sure that my kids, I can teach them how to run that business of Airbnb, VRBO, vacation rental, and that they choose what they want to do with their life based on what they actually love and is their passion versus what they think will make them money, which might possibly put them in a place where I was miserable, working 12-hour days and every Saturday just trying to make money to pay the bills. So that's the goal and vision for my business over the next 5 years, is to use the money that I earn as a coach to purchase and pay off those homes. And that's the reason behind that, the vision behind that. So the next activity that I want to share with you guys is a little bit challenging, and I did it in 2012, and it's going to take you beyond these financial goals onto a deeper level of who you become through the coach opportunity. And I'm going to share something with you guys that I think a lot of coaches don't talk about, that I've been talking about a lot more. This business, I know Sean has gone in live and dropped some truth bombs about this, but this business, guys, like, I've seen people come and go. I've seen people come, go, and come back. I've seen people that come, build a business, get frustrated, drop down, come back, drop down, come back, drop down. Sean's saying, I do that. So there's people on here that do that and that recognize that and know what they need to do. So I've seen it all. Guys, my business has gone to 14-star diamond to 4-star diamond, back to 9-star, to 6, to 10, to 12, to 4. It goes up and down. Our business has gone to past $1 million a year to 500,000 to climbing back up, back towards the million mark. There's ups and downs. And if any business you think everything's going to go like this, you need to learn focus your personal development on learning a little bit more about business. So with that being said, the last activity I believe is going to really help, because what happens with this business is you start getting outside your comfort zone. You have to grow into a leader. You have to learn how to market. You have to learn how to truly love other people and support people in their journey. You have to get the focus off of your own goals and onto helping other people. And find that balance between here's my goals and here's other people's goals and helping them achieve them. And not forcing your agenda onto somebody else, and truly genuinely caring about them achieving their goals. So what happens is the hard points in your business come. And what I mean by hard is it's not really hard parts of this business, is that all of our insecurities, fears, and the shit that we haven't taken care of in our life through therapy come to the surface. And what I see people do is they blame Beachbody. They blame going from DVDs to Beachbody On Demand. They blame their upline. They blame their placement in the downline of their coach. They're on a weak leg. They're on a dead leg. My coach is too busy to talk to me. My coach and I don't get along. Like, all things that people say as excuses when the stuff, we'll call it the shit, comes to the surface. Because I've had all of my shit come to the surface as a Beachbody coach. And you have the choice in that moment to, okay, I'm going to blame everything outside of myself, whether it's quitting or stepping back or blaming the upline, whatever it is. Or you have the choice of saying, okay, this is one of my insecurities or something about me in my past I haven't dealt with. I'm going to deal with it, become a better person and a stronger person, and move forward. Does that make sense? And that's what personal development is. Guys, personal development isn't just like sitting down and reading 15 minutes a day. It's realizing, oh my gosh, like, I realize that I'm comparing myself to Tate, and I'm beating myself up about that. And because I'm beating myself up about that, I'm losing confidence. And because I'm losing confidence, I'm not taking as much action. Like personal development is becoming self-aware and seeing like, okay, this is what I'm doing. This journey is about me becoming a better person. Like what do I need to do and learn? What questions can I ask so that I can overcome this? Because once you overcome that and then start focusing on how you can grow yourself, how you can overcome that belief that you have, then you get to the next level of your life and then you can help somebody else. Okay? So this is the part that's going to really help you with that, and that really helped me realize that everything that comes up, I'm going to have to overcome. Holy cow, we're at an hour. So we're going to end it with this. And it is the last slide. So final assignment, I want you to write your own eulogy. Man, I almost cried before I even talked about this one. Like, I don't know. It was like the past 6 months have been extremely hard for our family, even the past couple years. But like, I lost my favorite aunt to cancer that she battled with for 10 years. Yesterday, I went to lunch with my buddy Jake. Thank gosh, he's in remission. But we went to lunch yesterday and talked about that. So I've been thinking a lot about him in the last 6 months after losing my grandma and my aunt. And if you guys don't know, we lost my bishop and my daughter's friend and 7 others from our church in a tragic plane crash over Thanksgiving in 2019. And like, it really makes you think. Like, I did this activity back in 2012, but it really makes you think, like, did I, and this is a Brendon Burchard, did I live? Did I truly live? Did I matter? And did I love? And I think about that all the time when Brendon Burchard shares that. Like, when the day comes that it's time for me to go, like, I don't want to be remembered for being a 15-star diamond coach or elite 10 times. I want to be remembered for the person I became and the people that I helped become better, for the people that I poured into and helped change their life. So what I want you guys to do, like, when you can get focused more on that, who you become through this coaching opportunity and surrounding yourself with other incredible people on this team, more than just the financial goals, you're going to make it through all of the stuff because you're striving more on becoming the person that you are designed to be. So my final assignment for you is write your own eulogy. What do you want your husband, your spouse, your mom, your child to say at your funeral about you? It's a little bit challenging, but one of my mentors, Craig Holiday, had me do that, and it really put into perspective my life and the way I wanted to spend it. And it all ties back into a lot of the goals that I talked about. Like, I didn't want to be known as the guy that lasted 50 years in the steel factory and made a ton of food processing equipment that made the hash browns that McDonald's sold that made a lot of people obese. I want to be remembered as somebody who always strived to become the best person and to love people unconditionally, which I'm still learning to do, and that challenged other people to live into that as well. So I'm going to end the call on that. I know we went a little bit long, but I want each and every one of you guys to know that I believe in you. And I want you to work super hard on that personal development aspect of identifying these things. Like, if you're saying, like, it would be nice to get to diamond. It would be nice if I could earn $250 a year, or a year, $250 a year. Guys, you can do that. $250 a week. Or it'd be awesome if I could do this. To start living in that moment right now and believing that you have already achieved that thing. That's what visualizing it is stating today that you are already that person and then acting like that person right now. Like, if you want to have a 6-figure business and a thriving team of 15 leaders and you're spending time in Park City together and you've got this tribe, like, you have to act like that person today. You have to believe that you're that person today and strive every day to become that person. And catch yourself in saying, like, I hope that I can get to this point by Summit next year, and saying, I will be at this point by Summit next year. I will have this. I will become this person, and not just hoping that it will happen. So One of the last things I'm going to share about that is to kind of give you guys a visual is I want you to think about this, because we all have these negative thoughts that we say about ourselves. Like, I'm not good enough to be a leader. Like, I'm not as beautiful as Lindsay Matway. I'm not as disciplined and consistent as Scotty Hobbs is. I'm not, whatever it is, we say these things. What I want you to think about is the team you have, or maybe you don't have a team yet and you just have a social media audience that you need to reach and bring onto your team. I want you to think every single day and hold this visual that every thought that is in your head, imagine that there's a megaphone connected to those thoughts that the whole world hears, that your team hears, that your customers hear, that your coaches hear, and that your future prospects hear. If they heard those things, would they want to join your team and your mission and your vision? It's powerful, isn't it? It would be like saying, I'm in your mind, you're just like, man, I'm just not really cut out to be a leader, or I'm not like, oh man, I just can't ever get to my goal weight. I'm just like, I'm fat, whatever it is, I'm ugly, whatever it is that you might be saying to yourself. Imagine that being broadcast to the universe, to your social media, to your coaches, to your team through a megaphone. And that'll really help you understand, because guys, the universe works like that. All of your thoughts go out into the universe, and the universe aligns the right people and the right opportunities to help you achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. So I want to make sure that we're working really hard on that mindset and being clear about what you want. Brendon Burchard, I had this quote wrong, but he built, I think it was like $18 million businesses with online courses and book sales. 18. And so I remember asking him, like, what's the difference between somebody that builds, and this is when I went to the High Performance Academy with Brendon Burchard. Might have been the Experts Academy. I went to both of them. We were doing a book. It was a book signing. And I said, what's the difference between someone that can build one 6-figure business and someone like you that's built 18 7-figure businesses? What's the difference? And he says, we all have goals, dreams, and ambitions. The only difference is the people that achieve them are the ones that believe it and put it out into the universe about what they want to accomplish. And when you put it out to the universe, God and the universe align the right people and the right resources to come together to help you realize that goal and that dream. So to tie this all up about your goals and dreams, you can't just visualize it yourself. You have to speak that into your team. You have to speak that into your social media. You have to speak that into your coaches. You have to speak that into your processes, into your prospects, about what your goals and visions are and where you're going to go. And just like Lindsay did, she cast that vision about what she was going to do. And what happened? God put her YouTube video in front of my laptop, or in front of this computer in this office, where I watched it and said, I have goals and dreams like that too. And God aligned Lindsay and I together. And Lindsay went on to build the top team that she wanted, because people like me and Shay Stanford and Melanie Mitro and all of these other incredible leaders came into her life because of that vision. So guys, let's go out and do it. Don't get to work until you get clear on setting those goals and having that vision. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go. And thank you guys for being on live with me. And we'll see you guys on the next team call. Quick reminder, tomorrow I put it in the Dynasty Strong team page. There is a coach opportunity call tomorrow night. I believe it's 9 o'clock Eastern time, but the details are in the Dynasty Strong team page. All right, we'll see you guys later.